In the heart of Africa, where the land stretched wide under the burning sun and rivers carried the lifeblood of entire villages, two clans lived side by side. For centuries, they shared the same soil, the same rain, and the same sky. But their hearts were divided. Old grudges, passed down like heirlooms, had grown into an unending feud. The children of one clan were taught to distrust the other. Songs of anger replaced songs of peace, and every season brought fresh graves. This was a world where the drumbeat of war echoed louder than the drumbeat of celebration. Spears were sharpened more often than tools for farming, and fires burned not just for cooking but for destroying homes. Every small dispute became fuel for a raging conflict. If a goat crossed the wrong border, if a word was spoken in anger, blood soon followed. Among these people lived a woman named Nia. She was not the strongest in the village, nor did she hold any formal power. She was a widow, her husband taken by the same violence that now threatened to consume both clans. Yet Nia was known among her people for her wisdom, her calm voice, and the way she could soothe anger with words instead of weapons. Children gathered around her to hear stories, women sought her advice, and even warriors respected her quiet strength. One season, the feud reached its most dangerous point. A young warrior from one clan was ambushed and killed while traveling to fetch water. His blood stained the earth, and with it came vows of revenge. The other clan retaliated, and soon huts were set on fire. Smoke rose to the sky like a dark prayer. Families fled into the forests, and both clans sharpened their spears for war. Everyone knew this time it would not be a skirmish. It would be a battle to the death. The elders tried to negotiate, but hatred clouded their minds. Pride spoke louder than reason. Each side demanded blood for blood. The young warriors, filled with anger, wanted glory more than peace. And so the drums of war were beaten once again. Nia watched all this with a heavy heart. She had lost her husband to this feud. She had lost brothers and cousins. She knew that if war broke out now, she would lose even more. But what pained her most was watching the children. Their eyes were full of fear, their stomachs empty, their hearts too young to understand why they were hated simply for being born into the wrong clan. One night, Nia walked alone into the forest. She sat beneath a great baobab tree, its roots like the arms of ancestors stretching deep into the earth. She prayed to the spirits of her forefathers, asking for wisdom. The wind whispered through the branches, and in her heart, she found her answer. To end this cycle of blood, someone had to give more than words. Someone had to give everything. The next morning, Nia went to the leaders of her clan. She stood before the council of elders and spoke boldly. "My fathers, my brothers," she said, "we have carried this hatred for too long. Our children cry not from hunger alone, but from fear. If this war continues, there will be no one left to inherit this land. We must end it now." The elders shook their heads. "How can we end it, Nia?" one asked bitterly. "They killed our son. They burned our homes. They will not stop until we are destroyed." Nia looked at them with steady eyes. "Then I will go to them," she said. The room fell silent. "Go to them? They will kill you," a woman cried. Nia lifted her chin. "If my life can buy peace, then let it be so. Better one life lost than 100. Her clan begged her not to go, but her mind was set. Word spread quickly, and soon both clans heard that Nia, the widow, was walking alone across the field that divided them. The warriors on both sides lowered their spears in confusion. They had seen her before, carrying water, comforting children, singing at funerals. But never had they seen her walk with such calm purpose into the space where death waited. She stopped in the center of the field, where the grass was trampled from years of battle. She called out for the leaders of the rival clan. Slowly, they emerged, suspicious but curious. Their faces were hard, their eyes burning with the weight of their dead. Nia raised her voice so all could hear. "Sons of Africa, why do you fight? Is the earth not wide enough for us all? Is the sky not high enough for us all? Must we water this land only with blood? Murmurs rose among the crowd. The rival chief stepped forward. They killed our son, he said coldly. We will not rest until his death is avenged. Nia placed her hand on her chest. Then take me, she said. The crowd gasped. Kill me, she continued. Let my blood be the last. Let my death end this feud, so no more sons and daughters need to be buried. If vengeance is what you crave, then here I stand. Her words fell like thunder. The warriors looked at one another, uncertain. The rival chief's hands trembled on his spear. Never before had someone offered themselves willingly. Never before had hatred been met with such sacrifice. The silence stretched long, broken only by the cries of children in the distance. Nia stood tall, her eyes steady, her heart unshaken. Slowly, the chief lowered his weapon. He turned to his people. We cannot kill her, he said softly. She offers her life not in hate, but in love. If we strike her down, we kill the very hope of our children. One by one, the warriors dropped their spears. The fire in their eyes dimmed, replaced by shame and realization. Across the field, Nia's own clan watched in awe. For the first time in generations, the ground between them was not red with blood, but heavy with possibility. The elders of both clans stepped forward. They looked at Nia, then at each other. Slowly, they extended their hands. The handshake was stiff, uncertain, but it was the beginning of something new. A promise that the feud would end. Nia wept then, not from fear, but from relief. She had offered her life, but instead, she gave life back to her people. Her courage had broken the chains of vengeance. In the days that followed, the two clans worked together to rebuild what had been destroyed. Burned huts were raised again, fields were replanted, and children from both sides played together for the first time. Songs of mourning were replaced by songs of celebration. The river once more echoed with laughter instead of war cries. Nia became a living legend. Her name was sung in stories, told around fires at night. She was the woman who gave up everything so that her people could live in peace. And though she lived the rest of her days in quiet simplicity, her sacrifice became the seed from which unity grew. Even generations later, when the children of those clans asked why their people no longer fought, the elders would point to the sky and say, because once, a woman named Nia was brave enough to stand in the middle of death and choose life. And so, in the heart of Africa, where the land stretched wide and the rivers carried life, two clans who had once been enemies now lived as one. Their story remains a reminder that sometimes the greatest warriors are not those who carry spears, but those who carry wisdom, love, and the courage to sacrifice for peace.